Hello, Mazda MX5 lovers. Of this, there should be many because I believe the MX5 is the #1 selling sports car in history across the 4 generations. Anyways, I used to have one of these, the Mazda Miata, as I know it. Mine was a 1991, I believe. It was originally red, but I repainted it like a copper. Anyways, I always wanted the British Racing Green one, but this is actually a Eunos Roadster. That's the Japanese version of this car. And basically, the only difference are the badges, and I think they have a circular reflector, whereas the Miatas did not have that side reflector. Okay, so Hobby Japan. Historically, I feel like they're kind of pricey, but let's see. Let's see what's going on here. I also know Mini GT has this. I actually pre-ordered the red one, but my dealer for some reason didn't have it in stock, so I ended up buying this at my dealer instead. It is weird that Hobby Japan doesn't say a date, of copyright. So in the future, you really don't know how old what this model is. Is it here? No? Come on. Well, anyways. That says Neo Green. It doesn't say British Racing Green. Alright, so the case, not bad. No tape. Pretty tight case, actually. So I don't think that would just fall apart on you if you lifted it by the top. So that's good. So there's a hard top in here, although I don't know why you would want to display a convertible with the hard top. There's no tow hooks or anything, so I'll take this off the stand for the review. But truthfully, I'm going to just put it back on because I don't want to store an empty box somewhere. So I'd rather just store the car in the display box. Alright. You can actually tell it's a Hobby Japan base. I've talked about this car a few times before. I have a Konami one, which I'll show. But very quickly, they Japanese basically made a reliable British sports car. There, that's done. Anyways, this roof is this like molding screw here, so it's proving problematic as far as putting it on here. I'm gonna try to get this roof thing out of the way because I'll never display it with this thing. There's two little tabs you can see on this roof, and they're trying to get behind that. Oh, this must come out maybe. So pleasantly, I review with a dental pick. Oh, this might be rubbery as well, this tonneau cover. But the seats are getting in the way. Oh, maybe that shouldn't have come out because I think that's glue residue. Alright, well, learn from my mistakes, guys. Yeah, so I don't think that I was supposed to rip that out. But this roof, because of that molding screw there, or maybe I gotta... Yeah, it's weird. You're gonna have to sand that off if you have that extra plastic to get this thing in there. Boy, hold on. I keep some basic tools next to this thing. So I got a jewelry file. You can buy these in sets. AliExpress, eBay, Harbor Freight, whatever. Any hardware store should sell these things for pretty cheap. Okay, well, I mean, it looks like that plastic is gone. Let's see if I can get this in there now. Yeah, I feel it's just not a properly designed roof. It's like too long or something. We're gonna take even more off. No, I think this is just a poorly designed roof. It's like there's too much tension going on. Maybe. I feel like this side is quite good, but I can't get the other side down in there. You see is how it's colliding with the front window, the A-pillar window. Yeah. So, anyways, maybe you'd have better luck if it was actually good on the other side. It's a pretty good roof. The nice thing about it is there's enough green that it actually looks like the same green as the casting. Very often, when the companies paint these clear pieces of plastic, they don't put enough paint on, and the light gets through, and it just doesn't look like the same as the body. But this one, I would say they're the same green, and they're really fine, very fine, almost invisible defroster lines on that window. So the defroster lines are good because they don't actually block the interior view. Alright, well, anyways, now we know this is rubbery, and it shouldn't be ripped out. But no big deal, it just goes back in there, no problem. And it seems to be trapped in there because the seats are leaning back, and also I think it got stuck underneath the casting a little bit. So that is well designed, unlike the roof. Okay, let's continue on with some photo comparisons then. I don't recall this green being this light in the real world. I do recall like this photograph being more the British Racing Green. This seems a bit lighter than British Racing Green to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I do feel also the interior color, to the naked eye, it's more yellow than it is tan. Okay. This one has a little roll bar in there. So, off the bat, I would say the colors are just wrong. I don't understand how this could happen. This car can't be that rare in Japan. I don't know why they wouldn't just, borrow someone's car or find one or get the paint codes from Mazda or the color codes, right? But I feel like this green is not dark enough to be considered British. Or then again, it does just say Neo Green. Maybe in Japan this is the green, and maybe these photographs are a Eunos Roadster because they have a circular reflector there. So I'm not sure what to really conclude there. I feel it's wrong, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so let's start with the front here. This is a Eunos badge, I'm imagining. I guess that's a Eunos badge. What's nice is these are actually clear plastic. I think a lazier brand would have just painted those silver and orange. But I feel like that's clear plastic and the orange might be painted on the outside, and then this might be silver behind that on the casting. But unfortunately, the lens isn't actually sitting as flush as it could. Although that was under magnification, so to the naked eye it's pretty hard to notice. Hobby Japan has variations where these are popped up. I looked at this in the store. I looked at the ones that are popped up, but those are only in blue, silver, and I think red. And I didn't really like those colors. This green one has a really colorful interior and different colored steering wheel, whereas those other colorways with the pop-up lights primarily have just black interiors, so that's why I skipped over them. Okay, there's some sort of texturing in here as if to mimic radiator slats or something like that. I'm gonna guess it's a separate piece of plastic. Yeah, but it's not part of the base. Alright, well, while we're down here, Hobby Japan, it's very strange. They wouldn't write Eunos Roadster here. No copyright date, so that's really weak. I don't understand why brands do that. It's really strange. Anyways, this separate piece here for the exhaust is painted silver. It's nice that it's screwed together. And these tabs must mean there's a brake system, or there should be. Kind of a strange tread. They look like spikes almost. They don't really look like road treads to me. Alright, so the wheels here. Let's look at this rear one and zoom in on the center cap. I'm gonna guess that's like a Eunos badge or some sort of Roadster badge. I can't tell what the orientation should be. And you can see there is a brake system back there, just, you know, silver. What is there? Caliper. I don't see a caliper on that one. Let's try the front wheel. I don't see it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing any sort of caliper. So that's kind of weird. The wheels are close enough to the original Miata wheels, or Eunos Roadster wheels, so nothing wrong there. I feel the tire proportions look pretty correct. They're kind of tall, but that's the way it was back then. I think this thing originally ran on like 14 or maybe 15-inch rims. Alright, the little chromed door handles painted silver here. We have separate side mirrors, and those mirrors have reflective stickers. So I'm starting to think that I don't like reflective stickers exactly for this reason. Some of them fall out, or the tape or glue used to put them on just isn't very effective, you know, so you gotta be mindful of that. It is more realistic. I mean, it does reflect stuff. You can see the pick reflecting, but if that thing falls out, then it's very unrealistic, you know? So sometimes I think silver paint might actually be better, and that's what's going on here with the rear view mirror. Okay, so really nice taillights. Really good separation. The backup light is there, and then you have all this red, and then you have a molded in light back there. So very three-dimensional. There's a red reflector there. It's nice to see something on the, you know, license plate. I think maybe there's a V in the wheel. Must be some sort of special colorway there. And then I think you can actually read Roadster. I am at 4 times. I can't go any further. It's close enough to the Roadster thing. And then that would say Eunos, or it should say Eunos. Here's the key mechanism, I think. Alright, so the third brake light is printed on. The exhaust tip actually has some black, and it's a little bit recessed, so that's pretty nice. You can now see there's a little antenna stub there on the right side. And then, I forget what these were. I forget what they were. I don't think they had any function. Or possibly they might have been to snap a tonneau down. There's the fuel filler. Okay, so yeah, this interior is definitely yellow. I mean, the steering wheel's brown, so I feel that color is off. But it's nice that the steering wheel, the shifter, and the e-brake handle is brown. And there's a graphic here on the center, and it looks like it's actually a tampo. I don't think it's a decal, because I don't see any of that shininess or the wrinkliness. But maybe that instrument cluster is a decal. I don't know, that might be tampo printed as well. There's no shininess to it. So if those are tampo printed, that's just fantastic. There's no way they'll fall out. I had another diecast with a decal there in the instrument cluster, and it was peeling off. But the model was, I think, riveted together, so I can't fix it unless I drill the thing apart. Alright, yeah. Not too bad. Obviously, this black, it would have been maybe nicer if it was printed better, but it's nice to see at least 3 different colors on the interior, 4 if you count the dashboard. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, this side, no problems. So, all in all, not too bad. As far as panel gaps go, I've seen worse. You know, I would obviously rather they just casted it with the lights down and have a separate casting for the lights up. But I can understand them trying to save some money. In this dark green, it doesn't seem too bad. I'm going to put it down there. It's noticeable, but it's not as bad as, say, an M2 Machines or an Auto World. Okay, we got some raised painted black wiper blades there. And then the green again on this windshield is really dark. It's the same green as that, even though it's over a clear object. So that's pretty nice. I guess that's it. It's a small car. There isn't much to talk about. Let's compare it to a couple other vehicles then. Let me get the spin thing out. Just gonna pull out a bunch of Miatas here. The first one would be the comparison to the Konami. It should be no comparison. But one thing I will say about the Konami is since it doesn't have opening headlights, the panel gaps of that are just more consistent, as you can hopefully see as it spins around. Yeah. But the Konami is an oddly designed front bumper that is a separate piece, so there it does have a pretty bad panel gap. So either way, you can't win. I put some Eunos 64 wheels on this guy, so yeah, this did. Another weird thing about this Konami is they molded it with the roof up, which is strange. I don't know why you would choose to do that on purpose. And then obviously the paint rash. I don't know how old this model is because Konami doesn't write a date on it either. And this one is press fit together, it's not screwed together, so modifying this one's going to be worse. But at least you know what the car is. That's a nice thing that they tell you. And the tire treads on this I think are more realistic looking. Okay. But there's no black paint on the wiper blades, which is really strange. And then this has what looks like just casted in mirrors, which isn't very accurate either. And then it's got really tiny taillights that make no sense. Look at the gap here for the taillights. Right, so I don't know. I don't think I'm going to bother with the tray of comparison because it's just such an inferior product that it's not even worth talking about. And these Konami ones are expensive on eBay. I'm sure they cost more than this, so you'd be better off just spending your money on this. Or the Mini GT, I'm pretty sure will even be better than that. Okay. So the next one would be the 3rd generation Roadster. And sadly I forget who makes this. Someone left a comment. It is somewhere, if you look up the review of this in the comments, someone said who makes it, but it's an absolutely fantastic model. A little antenna there, plastic lights front and rear, but look at the interior of that dashboard. I mean, there's a lot more detail going on in that model than any of the other two you see here. And then the last one is the 4th generation, which is made by Kyosho here, and it's pretty good. No brakes though on the Kyosho, but this one I think has brakes. It does, yes. So these two, the Hobby Japan and this unforgetful brand, have brakes. Konami and Kyosho do not. Alright, so let's get a top view so you can see those interiors a little bit better. Yeah, the blue car is the best one of the 4, I think. No strange panel gaps. And then much more work. You know, it's just far more details than the other 3 brands. Alright. Let's get this thing spinning on its own. So all in all, it's still a pretty great model. I'm happy to have it. The only minor nitpick, there'd be 2. I don't see a brake caliper. I see a rotor, but no caliper, so that seems a little bit odd. And then naturally the panel gaps are slightly bothersome, but they're not that bad, you know. And they still, I think they look better down with panel gaps than the ones with the lights up. Because this thing looks really goofy with the lights up. These giant round, I think they're like 6-inch round headlights or something like that. Alright, well, I think there's going to be some other versions coming out. I think there's one with a roll bar. I can't remember if that's a Mini GT one or a Hobby Japan one. But I'll probably end up getting that. And I'll probably actually get the Mini GT one of these days also, just because, you know, I love this car. It was a really fun car to drive. Maybe not in stock form, but when you modify the thing, it was a blast to drive. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys checking this out. I only hope that someday a premium version of the second generation comes out. We have premiums of all the other three generations now. We just need to have the NB, the second one with the more soapy looking body on it. Okay, see you guys. Thanks for watching.